In this video, I'm going to run until I get a donut. There's only one problem. The nearest donut shop is a marathon away. I'm currently on the East Nuka Fife in Ely, and I want to get a donut from Fisher and Donaldson in St Andrews. They have a very famous fudge donut. So I'm going to run the Fife Coastal Path and see if I can get there in time for a donut. There's only one problem though, they do tend to run out quite early, so I think if I'm not there before 2 o'clock, there might be no donuts. That's annoying. It says here the path is closed along this bit. Normally you would go around like that. I think I'll go run along though and see if it is actually closed or not. That wasn't too hard to get past. Let's hope the rest of it's okay. The path is sort of following in a little bit, but I think that's okay to walk past. It's not that hard. It's actually quite warm today. It's 6 degrees. When yesterday it felt below freezing. I stuck a hat on, but it's me run about 1.5 miles, and my head's getting quite warm already, so I think I'll lose the hat. Today's route is undulating, a lot of up and down. My plan is just to walk the ups where possible, keep my heart rate low, and just do a nice steady pace the rest of the time. I'm hoping to do it in 5 hours, hopefully. Mainly because my wife is going to pick me up in St Andrews, but she's visiting a friend this morning, so I've got 3 or 4 hours before she's finished with her friend, and then it'll take her about an hour to get to St Andrews. So any longer than that and she'll be hanging around and might not be too happy. Although the weather today is perfect for running, it has been very, very wet the last couple of days. Storm Jarrett came through and absolutely barred the coastline and has left the paths very muddy and very slippery, which makes running parts of it a little bit tricky. First section nearly done. You can now see St Monans and Pittenweem just behind it. I think that's taken me about 45 minutes to get along the path, and it gets a bit easier now because you're jumping from village to village. That's a sort of a long boring section that I've just done. So good so far, see how it goes. There's quite a few bits in the path where you get a choice of a high route, which in this case is up through the church, or a low route along the bottom here. When the tide's in, you can't do the low route, and you have to do the high route. I'm hoping today that the tide will stay far enough out that I can do the low route at every time, but it does get trickier as I get towards St Andrews, because it's actually low tide just now, and the tide will be coming in for the rest of the day. So won't know what that bit's like until we get there. Out of luck, no ice cream. I'm just leaving Pittenweem. I've done just over 10k in 1 hour and 20 minutes. It's a little bit slow because, well, I'm a little bit slow, and also the path's just a little bit there, wet and muddy, nearly slipped there, and it slows you down just a little bit. The next town is Anstruther, which is almost connected to Pittenweem. There's basically a farmer's field in between them. At some point in time someone will come along and build some houses here, I would think. Anstruther's home to Scotland's best fish and chip shop, but unfortunately, like the ice cream shop, it won't be open just now. As I head along the coast, I pass through a few golf courses. I've already been past 1 this morning, which was in Ely, and my house is right next to it. And this next one here is Anstruther, which is probably the cheapest of the golf courses we'll pass by in terms of whether you want a round of golf or not. Some of the ones we're going to see later on are very expensive. I think Kings Barnes is £200 for a round of golf and a compulsory £200 for the caddy to show you around. This is Anstruther Fish and Chip Shop, one of the best fish and chip shops in Scotland. I was here just after COVID restrictions ended. The fish and chip shop had reopened. This bit that I'm running here shows just how long the queue was to get fish and chips again once it reopened. As you see, it goes on and on and on and on, and finally came to a stop at the end of the hill there. We've now come to Cellardyke, which is directly connected onto the end of Anstruther. It's more like the older town. Nice. So, streets like this, all the houses are joined together. This is Cellardyke Tidal Pool, which I've not actually swam in yet. I'll try and do it before the end of these holidays, because the last time I was here it was blowing a gale. I'll see if I can find some video of it. But there were still some folk swimming and sitting by the side having a cup of tea. I've been a bit lax with food and drink these first couple of hours. It's cool enough that I'm not feeling too thirsty, I'm not sweating much. I need to remember, because otherwise I'll pay the price in the next couple of hours. So I'll have my first bite to eat. We have Kendal mint cake. I just checked my time and progress, and that's 10 miles in exactly 2 hours so far. I'm feeling pretty good. I do have a slight pain at the top of my ass, but I think I tend to be a weak point and tend to get a bit of pain there, so nothing to worry about. This next section is Anstruther to Crail. It's a bit flatter and a bit boggier in places, and because of that you get all the runoff of the water from the farmer's field. Next point of interest is there's a nice stony bit, but I'll have to stick a voiceover when I get there because I can't remember what type of stone it is. Caves are made of sandstone and were previously used as a place of worship and a place to store cattle. Another sign that says path closed, but I'll see if my luck holds and we'll give it a try. I changed my mind because I had a quick look and the alternative path was only about 5 metres longer than the normal path, so I've headed up. The normal path actually is down there. Looks okay, there must be a problem with it when you get around the corner. Oh, progress update. I've left Crail, a nice wee place, Crail. Probably the poshest caravan park you'll find anywhere. I'm exactly halfway, and it's exactly 3 hours as well. And it's time for another job. I think I'm just about to turn the corner here and head inwards towards St Andrews. From this point onwards, it gets a little bit more remote. You don't really pass through many towns, but hopefully the weather will stay good and should be okay.
This is Fife Ness Lighthouse, which was the first unmanned lighthouse in Scotland. It protects ships from a nearby treacherous reef.
Time for another snack. These are Velo Forte Citro. Like some Turkish delight. Really good. That's me through Crail Golf Club, which is a tricky section because there's quite a lot of people playing golf and the path goes very close to some of the holes, so you've got to keep an eye out all around you. Just make sure no one's playing and you don't end up with a golf ball hitting you in the head. It was quite flat though, which made it nice and easy, but after this it definitely starts to become much more undulating, and there's bits like this where you go up and you go down and up and down and up and down. I think the next place I'm going to hit though is Kingsbarns, with the really expensive golf courses. This next section is half a mile along the beach. If it's high tide you can't get past here at all, so you just have to wait for it to recede. So it looks like I've timed it okay, because high tide is still about 2.5 hours away. And the other reason you have to walk along the beach, I just worked out, is because all of this is Kingsbarns Golf Club, and they don't want poor people walking on it. That just wouldn't do. That's the entrance to Cambo Estate, which is famous for its snowdrops. And if you're ever around this part of the world, come here in about February, March time and go and have a look. There's millions of them. That's a good sign to see. St Andrews, 7.5 miles. I've done 30k, that's exactly 4 hours. Sun's come out, very nice. I do know though that the next 7.5 miles is probably the hilliest part of the route. There's a lot up and down. But hopeful I might get my donut. Time for my next snack, which is like a flapjack type thing. Made by Stoats, the wood company. And just what I need now, bit of solid food. That was a complete fail. It's nice down this bit, nice beach, nobody around, and not a breath of wind, so you get the nice waves sound as it comes in. Sun has gone behind a cloud though, and it's starting to get a little bit chilly. My hands are getting cold, my head's getting cold, so I put my hat and gloves back on. That's quite funny. I said that last bit, switched the camera off, I looked up and there was two people having their sandwich, just staring at me like I was a madman. If I remember correctly, this is the part of the route where we leave the coast and we go inland for a little bit, through a soft forest and then through a farm before rejoining the coast again, and that's when it gets hard. It's mentally refreshing to have something a bit different and come through the trees. Well, there is one downside, it does spoil my Strava map, which won't have a perfect line all around the coast. You can just make out the sea distance over there. We'll cut along this road and hopefully make it back along to the coast. And there's a sign to got back down to the coast.
At this point, I got my first glimpse of St Andrews.
This section is tricky. It's either going up, down, and if it is flat, it's covered in mud and really slippy. Oh, it had to happen eventually. I slipped and fell on my ass. Oh. It's always at the end. This part's the hardest part. Every time you go up, you have to go down, and then it's back up these sort of steps, and it's all slippy and slidey and muddy. But thankfully, there's a nice downhill bit in St Andrews to finish off. That's a hard climb up. Let's check my progress. Oh, 38 kilometres, 5 hours, 28 minutes, which just means not far to go. Perfect time for the sun to come up. This could be tricky. It's now high tide and I need to get over that bit. Is that possible or not? Maybe if I just go up here. There's footprints this way, so somebody must have done it before me. Made it. I think I'm about 15 minutes away from coming into St Andrews, so let's do a status check, find out how I'm doing. What's it trying to tell me? No idea. Oh, there you go, that's better. 40k. I didn't manage to catch the time. Hopefully this is the last hill. My wife just phoned there. Asked her what I wanted a toasted cheese sandwich, as there's a place just next to her she's parked. Of course I said yes. Nearing the end now. I think I'm just going to get to the top of this hill and then it's downhill to finish. It's been a really good route. I've reached Caravan Parks, which means I'm virtually in St Andrews. The run's done, and look what I've spotted. Actually, at 42.4, because I ran as far as my wife, and she was standing at the Toast Shack. Unfortunately, that's past the donuts, so I've got to go back. need to check one last thing though, which is how far have I actually gone? Look, it's actually
Is that it?
Technically, I failed the challenge because although I had run a marathon, I had failed to get the Shirt and Donaldson donuts. But I did get donuts and a very tasty toasty. All helps.
that's pure sugar and oil. It's just pure fat. There was five, you know, you charged £5 for 6 donuts. He gave me 8.
Really?
Yeah,
That's nice of him.
result.
I